Okay.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Track Talk. Today I'm joined by iPi and his friendly builders in the back for a
Hello.
discussion on. Well, I mean, you can see we have dual riders here. This track is called Two, and I believe, apart from what's the Doodle Chaos's track called? Is it was it
I think
Beethoven
it's Dance
Smith?
of the
Oh yeah,
it's Dance of
yeah.
the Line Riders, I believe.
Dance of the Line Riders. Yeah, that's like the only other track, or at least the only other creator we know of that has made a full release of Dual Riders. This
Mm-hmm.
build was created by Chuggers, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like Dual Riders is something that's been in the pipeline for a while with JC, but Chuggers kind of made, I guess. I mean, I hope. I think you'd probably agree if I said he kind of like made like a brute force measure. So it's like,
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's kind of
yeah,
buggy. The version I used is the 1.1 version, I think,
yeah,
of the build. Because I started making the track before he released the fakey
yeah,
fix, so I
yeah,
just made sure to not do any like impossible things in this version.
yeah. I mean, I
It still
think.
breaks though on a regular
Oh yeah.
line rider version. Yeah.
Am I right in thinking that is it still the case with this version? If one of the riders dies, the other one does as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I think.
that actually it was made it annoying to make some of this track because I had to figure out which rider was dying due to what
Yeah,
sometimes.
but yeah, to
But
make
it's still
this.
all like early stages. This
Yeah,
dual riding development.
to make it clear, this isn't actually a developer build. It's kind of a mod at the moment, and I guess the game, because of the way Chugga's coded, it treats both of these line riders as one entity at the moment. But yeah,
Ah,
that's why
yeah.
they die at the same time.
That, that, that makes sense because the way the camera tracks them too, like you can't uh, you can't just focus on one of the riders. So I couldn't do something where I had one of the riders leave the screen without the other rider also going way off screen.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um,
All
all
right.
of this talk on the mod aside, we should probably get to the actual track, which was
I'm just gonna frame step through this. So,
yeah,
all right.
yeah. Take us
So
through your
this part I
process.
made. Okay, this part I made just as an experiment. I actually posted it in the Discord.
Hmm.
Uh, I just like did a really quick stall thing, and then, uh, well, how do I put this? Yeah, I didn't actually have a song in mind for this part, so I didn't start music sync until actually well after all this. Uh, I guess I should talk about one of the challenges with this is I had to learn how to weave the riders between each other
Yeah,
without like having them collide with the other one's lines. So there's a lot of green lines with
yeah,
little dots that I tried to
yeah,
make as small as possible, and I just had to work with the. Let me turn on this hit test or not
yeah.
hit test.
So you're kind of doing a toy though here to make this work.
I'll turn on the right thing eventually. Line hitbox. There we go. So I had to make these like really small so that I could just have the riders fall through the lines where I don't want them affected. And so here, the beginning of this track was really just a learning process. I wasn't actually syncing the music. I was just trying to figure out how to do. Because making a track like this is such a different process than with one rider.
Hmm.
Uh, like you have to really work with the camera. Their speed is really important. Like if one of them start end up off camera,
Yep. I noticed that quite
and
a lot actually. You regulating the speed of the riders to keep them from getting too far apart.
yeah, it's definitely a unique challenge to a dual rider track like this. So this is actually where I finally started syncing to the music. I picked the song. So yeah, there's a lot of this crossing here, and
Yeah.
basically this is the number one technique I do in this is making these curves out of dots.
Oh yeah.
I think I play the music. I think it's safe to do that. This is a by a group called Fleet Foxes. They released this album in like 2008, I believe.
Oh, nice.
It had a really nice vibe. I feel for the dual rider
Yeah,
aesthetic that's in here.
it was nice. Yeah.
I know this track's only been out for a couple hours when we're doing this, so
Yeah, I literally watched it and I was like, I'm gonna have to talk to iPi about this track.
okay. So, like, what was your impressions of like stuff like this? Like, he falls off and then rejoins him here.
Yeah, I thought it was quite elegantly done, to be honest. I mean,
Okay.
we don't have that much reference. As we said before, like the only other track like this, I think, is Dance of the Line Riders, and I keep wanting to say Beethoven's Fifth. Maybe that has it as well.
Maybe.
I can't remember, but I mean, yeah.
There's
The one thing I guess we haven't seen with either of those releases is making the fact that there are two riders like actually like kind of playing on the gimmick of it, I guess. And I mean, your track doesn't do that either. But I mean, that's not necessarily a prerequisite of making a dual rider track.
Okay.
I mean, you could say like Doodle Chaos had his own angle that he was using the riders for, and you have yours. Like here, you're kind of using them to interweave these very elegant lines, and then kind of reusing those same lines with two of them in certain ways. Like Doodle Chaos was using them to as kind of what's the word? Not instruments, but it's kind of like
he was kind of using them as different parts
of the song.
Yeah. Or something.
Yeah,
which I did kind of at the end of this, but here I
noticed that more towards
the
the end.
track was like a big learning process.
Yeah,
so I wanted to have them crisscross as much as possible and like share lines as well. I just trying to utilize the possibilities of what you can do with two riders. Like there's a double crisscross here.
Yeah.
I used a bit of airtime in this track. I felt like it was
it was nicely done, I felt, actually.
Yeah, well, I watched this is kind of a funny reference, but there's this track called Cottonmouth by C. Vang. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but
I think I actually might have
there was a quick review on it.
Interesting. I'll have to look.
But in his track, he uses it's pretty cool. It's just a kind of simple quirk track, but one of the things that really stood out to me was its use of airtime, like to pause during moments in the music. I didn't really do it as elegantly as that track here, but I did want to experiment with using airtime, like more in sync with the music in this track.
Yeah, I enjoyed that for sure.
So probably getting the theme here is a lot of this is experimenting. This was like an experiment with a bunch of parts of circles.
This is all the same circle, like resized and then changed, or did you draw all of these?
Yeah, I had a circle preset that I copied and pasted, and like curves like that I used. I should mention like this. No, it's not this Bosch. The Bosch without the scarf actually doesn't have friction.
Yeah, I've heard this.
And this actually made it really easy to do head slides, like without and maintain speed through a curve. So I did kind of use that just because it's there. If it wasn't there, I obviously wouldn't use it, but it helped.
Yeah.
And I really do like how the camera worked here. I had to there's a line trigger somewhere around here. There it is.
Yeah.
So I had to use line triggers a lot in this because if I'm zoomed in, you can see that they go off screen.
Yeah, I noticed there are parts where the zoom triggers would go out super far. And actually, maybe there just aren't that many tracks that zoom out like to that degree, but it looked kind of odd, at least on my monitor. Like it looked like if frames were skipped sometimes when that happened.
Oh, well, what's happening is the camera doesn't know what to do with two riders sometimes when it's zooming out and it's trying to focus on two riders and they're crisscrossing. The camera kind of spazzes out occasionally.
Okay, that makes some sense now. Yeah.
So it doesn't end up being super smooth, and
Yeah.
that's just because this is kind of a prototype version of dual
Yeah.
riders that I made an entire track in.
I think that's probably
This might be the zoom you're talking about.
Yeah, it
where
was
it
one
just
of
kinda-
those ones where it looked kind of odd for a second. Yeah.
I have to say, I feel like this curve section here is one of the most beautiful curvy
Yeah.
drawings I made in Line Rider. Just
It's very elegant.
having two riders, having two riders doing the top of my screen's cropped off. I don't know why.
It shows up
Anyway.
fine for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, just on my end then. All right. Anyway, yeah. So the having two riders, like riding two line, like it just adds more track, I guess, to it. That is just more.
Yeah, that's one of the other
I have a hard way of
things.
putting it.
That's one of the other things I was going to say is having these extra riders kind of either forced you or maybe by design you took advantage of, like, I guess if we want to use the term, the whole canvas. Like if we look at this now,
Yeah.
you filled up a lot of space. I mean, obviously here we're at full zoom, but in other sections of the track, every part of the screen is used, which is something that I enjoy when I see it done.
Yeah, and that's kind of a necessity because having two riders, I mean, with these gravity hitboxes being as large as they are, they kind of end up requiring a lot of space.
Yeah.
So using as much of the screen as possible kind of became the standard.
Oh yeah.
Here's another drop section.
Yeah.
I really like the way it goes through the track here before it actually gets rode on. It's kind of like a little preview of sorts.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's just something personal I
This
like. And
this section here is one of my favorites because it just looks so complex and neat at the same time. Because he just goes through so many individual lines.
This was a challenge to make. I should just check everything. I usually just check everything. That's why I'm having so much difficulty with this. But you can see I had to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I had to make 5 crossings here so that they could go through these loops.
Yeah. I mean,
here I tried to do a fake out.
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty much the method Tova uses for his whole tracks. They're pretty much just frame by frame by frame on like a green track, which is still like crazy to me.
So one of the things, this is actually a curve I posted in the help section because I was trying to.
Yes.
I'd been drawing this curve, like I've been drawing them manually to some extent and connecting them. And unfortunately, unfortunately in this version, because of the way the camera works, you can't do the pencil trick where you zoom in because the camera is tracking both of them.
Yeah.
So I ultimately just had to kind of do these green lines all manually. Yeah. I feel like a future version would benefit from having triggers or a selection that allows the camera to switch to focusing on either of the riders and then both of them.
Yeah, that would be pretty useful. I mean, a lot of this also depends on how close JC is to actually releasing a multiple riders implementation of this.
Yeah. I'd love to see a more refined version of dual riders.
Yeah, because I mean, look how much you were able to do with even this version.
Okay. Yeah, and then we have this slow section here.
Yeah, this one was good. I like this bit.
Yeah. So I had the idea of just having one rider on the line because we only have a guitar in this section. So doing this trick again with the dotted lines here, I was able to get the rider to just ride on the like completely flat, and then the other one can just fall through it. So so the way this works, at the when I first started doing this, I was thinking I could just draw one of the riders riding the track for like 20 or so seconds, and then I could have the other rider catch up and like kind of work on the tracks individually. But the problem with that is making these sections where the rider has to fall through one of the lines.
Oh yeah.
So I quickly learned you actually have to make both tracks simultaneously with each other.
Yeah. Well, you're screwed.
Yeah. So, and this track is about 2.5 minutes long. So it's kind of ended up being the equivalent of 5 minutes of track making.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of twice the work. It was a lot of work to make a track for two riders.
You released this pretty fast. So like, how many hours did you put into this, and how long of a time?
Well, I started on April 3rd. I started the day the Dual Riders mod came out.
Oh wow! So yeah, you spent about 2 weeks on it, I guess.
Yep, it took me about 2 weeks.
Damn.
I didn't put as many hours into it as I did Falling to the Beat.
Oh sure,
it was up there.
I'm sure this took quite a long time. Yeah,
it did. And the original song was 5 minutes long, and I was like, "There's no way, I'm not doing 10 minutes of track." So
yeah,
I actually ended up cutting it short, but it had a good spot. I think I explored enough ideas with this concept for now.
Yeah, I also personally find that a lot of longer tracks, if it's it depends on the song really, but if it's just more of the same, it can become.
That's what I was afraid of too, because the later part of the song is also really slow, so it would kind of just be more of this, and I felt like it would have gotten monotonous.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I picked the song because, like I said earlier, I felt it really fit with the Dual Riders vibe I was going for.
Oh yeah, it did.
Okay, I should explain this section a little bit more. So, let me go back. This is long. This took me a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, the rider going on in the flat line for most of it is synced to the vocals, and then the one going up and down is synced to the guitar. And I'll play that so you can hear it. Like this little hop, for example, it's like bye.
Yeah.
I mean, there's tiny details that I include, but then at other places I kind of don't pay enough attention to the details. So I feel like explaining the tiny details would probably.
Yeah, like there are certain parts where you kind of more micro sync, and then the rest of it's more just the general sync.
Yeah, that's a potential criticism, I suppose. I wasn't taking this super seriously. I was I was just exploring the concept. This is a very new thing.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure.
Yeah. So then we got got 15 seconds left. I'll play it out.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. That stall was real nice as well, by the way.
Yeah, I had the idea for this stall. So I wanted them to be looking at each other but the problem with that is because they're both facing the same way, one of them had to be upside down.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the Spider-Man kiss. That's what came into my mind.
I know. That's exactly what I thought. I was just like Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was like, are they gonna fucking make out, or what's gonna happen here?
No, there's some distance there. It's all right.
Yeah, it's a friendly gaze. It's not too.
It's just upside down.
Yeah, it's just a mutual gaze. Don't worry about it.
I feel like Dual Riders could go interesting places.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the reasons why I haven't made a Dual Rider track, because I'm just gonna make some obscene thing that I'll just regret making.
Yeah. So yeah, this is just a friendly stall. This was the only way to get it to work.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, so the way I have a device that allows me to do a synthesized guitar sound. It's kind of realistic though, so that last guitar strum is something I added myself through
Oh, cool.
an instrument
Hmm.
because this, like I said, the song continues. So
Yeah.
I added an ending chord, and if you listen, you can hear that it sounds different. Can you tell, or
I
did I do a
mean,
good enough job? Like no one would notice.
you even with you telling me, I'm like wondering where. I mean, I guess the guitar is like is the correct
It's
term a different pitch or but it.
it's a different timbre.
Oh God.
Like yeah, so you got the like that last squeak, that fret squeak is the real guitar, and then that last strum, that's the synthesized guitar I added.
Yeah, yeah, the last strum. But I mean, it's still to the lay person like me, it just sounds like the same guitar being played differently.
Well, that's great to hear. That's what I was going for. Yeah, as a musician, I'm really I have high perception of pitch like that, so it was really bugging me that I couldn't get it to match. But
Oh,
I had a feeling no one would notice anyway.
I'm sure like all the pitch perfects in the comments will make themselves known. But yeah, for the rest of us,
Hey, I'm one of them.
for the rest of us, it's totally fine, dude. Like, I doubt many people will notice.
All right. Well, I think that ended up being quicker than I was expecting, but
Yeah, I mean,
it's mostly
do you have anything specific you wanted to say about this?
uh not really. I hope more people explore the possibilities that you can have with dual riders now. Like
Yeah.
I'm again, I hope the versions like improve over time because there's some quirks to this that could be ironed out.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean,
But
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, go no, you go ahead. I'm
Yeah, I mean, not just even. I mean, we've had the dual riders mod, but Chugga's also showcased a completely different version of the sled, where he'd actually move the contact points and then change the sprite to like a Cadillac or something. So there's like
yeah, I saw that.
yeah, like there's a lot of potential for like contact point modification, even beyond just the bog standard Bosch on a sled. So yeah, like
Yeah, there's
yeah.
definitely possibilities in like customizing the line rider,
Mm,
uh, like him riding a car, to like give that kind of aesthetic
yeah. I mean, I really want
or
the
through storytelling.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm really looking for the day when I can put like 100 riders or like 1,000 into a track because I have some ideas for that. But yeah, we have two, and we're damn grateful to Chuggers for doing this and
Yeah,
enabling.
serious shout outs to Chuggers for making this possible. I part of the reason I jumped on this so quickly is I wanted a dual riders mod ever since I saw the dual chaos track because I got ideas. I'm like, there's so much potential
Oh
for
yeah,
track making.
yeah.
Like it's just such a different experience because it's been what 12 years, 13 years now, and there's only so many things you can do with one rider.
It's true, but two can be as bad as one. So that's why we need more.
That's true. We'll have double singularities, 20-point cannons.
Oh God. Yeah, that's exactly the reason we need more riders, more work. God, no artistic purpose at all. No, but yeah, this is a great thing. I mean, some cool. I'm sure people will make some cool stuff with this, and I'm sure it will evolve. So yeah, looking forward to that.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'll probably conclude this episode. I mean, yeah, it's
Yep.
probably a little quicker, but than normal. But I think we probably covered everything in the track. If
Yeah, ultimately it's a pretty simple track. It's just
yeah,
uh yeah, I just look forward to what the future of this kind of concept has.
oh hell yeah! All right, guys.
All right.
Well, thanks to iPi for jumping on this so fast. I mean, I literally messaged him like 30 minutes ago. It's just like, yep, let's do it. So that's
Yep,
cool.
I'm here. Let's go.
Yeah. And yeah, if you like the episode, leave a like. I'll try and remember to include the Dual Riders mod in the description. And yeah, see you next time. Cheers, guys.
See ya.